Well, for more on the latest developments in the war in Ukraine, we'll cross now to our international affairs editor, Armen, Georgian, who joins me now in the studio. Good morning, Armen.
Good morning.
So how is the West then responding to Monday's strikes?
Well, we'll be watching out for what happens at the G7 talks today. There's a crisis meeting held virtually, which President Zelensky will address. Remember that back in April, G7 finance ministers pledged 24 billion euros in financial aid to Ukraine. So the G7 has been actually a pretty important forum in terms of support for Ukraine, whereas other formats like the G20 are not as focused in terms of being dominated by Western powers, so less able to support Ukraine, if you will. Also, some of the members of the G7 are quite important arms suppliers to Ukraine, particularly the US. Since this wave of missile attacks on Ukraine, there have been conversations between Ukrainian and US officials about supplying even more advanced anti-missile systems. So that's probably going to come up as well in some way in these G7 talks. And also Germany's position is interesting. It's also a G7 member, and it seems to be shifting a little bit now. The reluctance to supply certain heavy weapons, there do seem to be some signs of that changing in Berlin now.